Hello, welcome to Web of Stories. My name is Melinda. It's Saturday, the 30th of December, and I was actually not planning to film anything today, but then I had some new makeup I wanted to play with. So I thought, why waste the makeup? You probably can't even notice the difference, but I had fun playing with it. So I thought I'd film something. And I'm not going to buy any more books for the rest of the year. I can guarantee that won't happen because I have like 36 hours left. But because I won't buy any more books, I can do my December book haul. So because it was Christmas and stuff, it was an interesting book haul. And I'm going to go through these I don't know, I kind of grouped them. We'll go through it. So I'm going to start with the 4 books that I do not have physical, 4 books I do not have physical copies of. The first one does not go on my TBR, and it is Les Misérables. I got the version that I am going to read for 2024. I'm going to do a chapter a day, but I already own a copy of Les Misérables, so I'm not counting that on my TBR. And then there were 2 other classics that I decided that I'm going to maybe try and tackle this year. And if you heard me complaining all through Victober, I cannot read classics on paper anymore because the print is too small. So I got e-copies of 1984 by George Orwell, which I have never read, but maybe I should know where these quotes are coming from. And North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell, which it seemed like everyone was reading in 2023 and I felt left out. I don't know if I've ever read Elizabeth Gaskell, so that'll be interesting. It is a hefty book, so I can't guarantee that I'm even going to read it in 2024, but it's on my Kobo. It's there waiting for me. And the other one that I have is Ring Shout by Djèlí. I was actually just going to get this from the library because it is the February book for my library book club, but then I got it for like $1.99. So I said, I can't pass that up. So I'll be reading that one. Can't remember what day of the first Saturday in February. So depending on where that is, this is a pretty short book. So I'll either read it right at the end of January or at the beginning of February. I try to get my book club books, so I read them close to the time of discussion. It doesn't always work out, and sometimes it kind of bites me in the butt because I end up running out of time, but that's my intent. So those are the 4 that I do not have physical copies of. So this next one, I actually bought 2 copies of. I use some Amazon credits that I have. I don't usually buy Kindle books. I usually buy Kobo books. But I do like the slow shipping, so you get credits, and that pays for like my BritBox and my e-court subscriptions. But I did have some digital credit money, so I used that for the Kindle edition of this book, but then I also bought the print edition. And I'm very happy to have purchased 2 copies of this book. I don't know which format I'm going to read it in yet. And that is No Matter What by Erin Nichols, who is Erin Go Live here on BookTube. She has quite a story that I only know the outline to. I only know the outline of her story. She's talked about it on her channel, but I'm really interested. I know that she's worked really hard on this book. This is a memoir of her marriage to her late husband, who was in the military and then suffered a brain injury. And I know it's going to be a very sad story, but it's also going to probably be a very inspiring story too, because Erin's a very inspiring person. So not sure if I'm going to read this in paper or on my Kindle, but I have the option to do either one. And hopefully I will get to that pretty early in 2024. We'll see. Okay. The next book also does not count on my, my TBR. And that is Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. The reason it doesn't is because I already have this on audio. So my friend Karen, who comments here all the time, as we all know from Short Story September, has a really dark and twisty side. She had told me once that it's a great audiobook. So I had gotten the audiobook, but I hadn't listened to it. And then my book club, library book club, decided that they're going to do it this year. I can't remember what month they're doing it. I want to say it's like April, but I could be wrong about that. And I kind of think that for a book club, I want to be able to annotate and really get it. So I decided to get a print copy of it. I may do it tandem, like read and listen. I don't know. But because this was already on my TBR as an audiobook, this copy does not count for my TBR. Oh, and unless these were gifts, by the way, all of these books came from bookshop.org. So the next ones, I'm not sure if I got these. I know for a fact that this is not the order that I got them in. They're just the order my stack is in. I'm going to do Historathon 2024 this year. I found out about Historathon 2023 like mid-year, and I felt like I couldn't jump in early on, which I probably could have. No one would have cared, but I'm just that way. But this year I'm definitely doing it. So I actually got 2 books for the first quarter, which is Ancient History. I may even still read some more, honestly, but I'm definitely going to start with these. I did not know until I got them that they're written by the same person. Well, one's written by this guy and one's co-written with this guy. So the first one I got was 24 Hours in Ancient Athens, A Day in the Life of the People Who Live There by Philip Matyszak. So this looked like it got really good reviews. This will help me like have conversations with my daughter who's like all about Greek mythology. Plus, she may want to read this book when I'm done. So I thought that was a good choice. And then personally, I prefer Rome to Greece. So I have A History of Ancient Rome in 100 Lives, again by Philip Matyszak. I don't know how to say that. And Joanne Barry. So I'll be reading these in the first quarter of the year. This one has pictures. Actually, the other one might have pictures too. I haven't looked. Let's see if I can get some pictures here for you. Like there's a map. Here's a picture. I always like pictures in my history books. It gives me a better view. And that's always interesting when it's like ancient history. So it's not, photography. But anyway, so I'll be reading both of those the first quarter, January, February, or March of 2024. Then I mentioned before that Sarah at Roadworthy and I are going to do sort of a project of reading Indigenous authors from the Pacific Northwest. And I have said before that is a little difficult because, as I outlined, in my area, at least, the Indigenous populations were decimated by disease from the fur traders before the colonists ever arrived. So there aren't large populations of the native people here, which now they're the Kalapuya, but they used to be part of the Kalapuya nation. In fact, the tribe that was here, which was the Aftalati, whatever, it doesn't even exist anymore. The last person who was registered with that tribe died in like 1940 or something. But in May, we're going to be reading a book by an author who is local to Sarah. And the book has not been released yet. But when I was looking up this author, I saw she has another book out. So I picked that up because it sounded really interesting. And that's by Sasha Le Point. And it's Red Paint, the ancestral autobiography of a Coast Salish punk. So she's from the Tacoma, Washington area. Just sounds very interesting. And I kind of wanted to get a head start on it. I don't know if I'm going to have a chance to read this before we read her next book, which Sarah and I will be reading when it's released. So that will be like our second quarter book, but here it is. Then for February, my Marginalized Authors book club is reading The Good House by Tananarive. I was going to get this out of the library until I found out it was big. And I was afraid that it was just, I wouldn't get it in time and then it would take too long to read. So I decided to just go ahead and get the print version of it. Because of the size of this book, I will probably start it fairly early. Do you hear The Simpsons? My kids did turn it down. So that's very nice of them, but you can probably still hear them. But that's what you've come to expect on my channel. But anyway, so I will be reading this one this month. I think it's long. Oh man, the print. I'm kind of looking at it now and almost wishing I'd gotten an e-copy because the print is kind of small. But this is what I'm reading for my Marginalized Authors book club. Then, if you watch my video, in 2024, the Bard Room is starting, which is where I read a Shakespeare play a month and read up about it and maybe read some retellings of it, blah, blah, blah. 10 months out of the year, I take May and December off. And I drew out of my tin what our January play was, and it was The Winter's Tale. So I got my copy of The Winter's Tale. This is the Folger's Shakespeare Library edition, which I like because it has a lot of like definitions, annotations. Although, as my bookish best friend pointed out, she came over on Christmas. She's like, some of these you probably should know. For example, straight means immediately and deeply means profoundly. Like, yes, you should know that. But, it's there if I need it. So I have this. I will be probably starting this one pretty soon. I'm going to take my time reading it. This includes information about the language, about his time. I don't know if I'm going to read this stuff that's more like a biography of Shakespeare ahead of time. I will read it, but I don't know if I will read it ahead of time of starting the play. But I will be reading this in January. Now, Christmas gifts. So as I said before, I participate in a gift exchange that's been going on for a long time. I don't even know how I found out about it because I don't know the organizer of it. It was just something someone had posted somewhere and I joined it. It's run through Elfster, and we have a $50 limit, and you put up, wish lists, and you get a name, and you send them some books and some treats because we're supposed to have chocolate with YOLO Book of Flood. And so I did that this year. In my YOLO Book of Flood video, I talk about what I sent to my person. And I also mentioned that this year there was a little bit of a hiccup because I think the person who got my name was new to it and didn't understand how it worked. So they sent it directly from Amazon and didn't indicate anywhere on the address that it was YOLO Book of Flood and didn't have it gift wrapped. So I opened it just thinking it was yet another box of gifts I had ordered for other people from Amazon, and there was my YOLO Book of Flood gift. So I was not, unfortunately, able to open it on Christmas Eve, which was kind of a downer, but that's okay. I still have the book. So these are 2 books that came off of my my wish list. The first one is Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister. I have heard really good things about this book. People cry when they talk about this book, and I don't know why. It's a thriller, so there's got to be something more to it. I am looking forward to reading this one. And the other one is one that I am looking forward to reading, but I'm a little trepidatious about it. And that is All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby. I love S.A. Cosby's writing. I've read Blacktop Wasteland. Is that the first one? I gotta look that up. Blacktop Wasteland and Razorblade Tears. And Razorblade Tears made me ugly cry. And that's an amazingly good book. And so I was really excited that he had Blacktop Wasteland. Yes. I was really excited, when he had a new book come out. But when it came out and I started hearing about it, I know there's an element of harm to children in it. It's not explicit, but it's there. And that's something I don't really like to read about. So I was not even really sure if I wanted to read it, but I put on my wish list and said, come what may. And this became, so it may, I guess. I will be reading this again. I might save it till February to read for Black History Month, just cause, because I have this one to read in January. So those 2 books are what I got from my YOLO Book of Flood book exchange. And then we have what my husband got me for Christmas, and he did a good job with some coaching from me. I had told him, you can get me Shakespeare plays, any Shakespeare play, as long as it's from the Folger Shakespeare Library and it's not The Winter's Tale, because I already had that. So he got me his favorite Shakespeare play, which is The Tempest, which I have never read. And then he got me Hamlet, which I have read several times. And maybe if I don't have to read it as an assignment, I might actually like it. We'll see. I will read these as I draw them from my tin. So they're waiting for me. I told him when I gave him this list, I'm going to buy them anyway, so you might as well get them for me as a gift. And then Henry V, which I have seen the movie of with Kenneth Branagh. And I'm working on the Hollow Crown to getting up to see Tom Hiddleston's Henry V, which if I'm thinking of a warrior king, much more likely to think of Tom Hiddleston than Kenneth Branagh, just saying. Anyway. This one, I'm looking forward to that one. And then, this kind of makes me mad. This is not my husband's fault. I won't even take this out. I have Twelfth Night, which is a play that I haven't read, but I have loved seeing it. But I just want to, why does the Folger Shakespeare Library do this to me? Why? Why couldn't they put this in this point? Not my husband's fault at all. This was the Folger Shakespeare Libraries. But, it is what it is. Twelfth Night is a play that I actually really enjoy. There's a really great adaptation of it that stars Helena Bonham Carter is one of the actresses in it. She's not even the main actress. She's the supporting actress. I can't remember the name of the actress's name, but she was married to the then director of it, Trevor Nunn. And she's in the Emma Thompson Sense and Sensibility, and she plays that weird girl who's really engaged to Hugh Grant's character. And why Hugh Grant was even in that movie, I don't know. Sorry, I will give you my thoughts on that movie because I have conflicted minds about that movie. But anyway, she's in that movie. I can't remember her name, but it's a really good production of it. So, look for Twelfth Night with Helena Bonham Carter. That's the version that's really good. So that's what I got in December as far as books. So I tried this year to do kind of a budgeting thing where I wasn't going to buy more than half the number of my own books that I read. There was a formula thing. Did that work? Well, I will tell you that I finished the year, I think 84 books in the hole. So no, it did not. I have hidden those columns on my spreadsheet, and we're just gonna start new with January 2024, and I'm gonna try to be better. We're gonna do it a little bit better this time. However, going forward, I am going to include any book that goes on my TBR. In the past, last year, so I still ended up like 80 some books in the hole. I didn't include audiobooks, and I didn't include things like gifts. Now, going forward, I will. I won't include books such as Braiding Sweetgrass because it's already on my TBR, even though it's in a different version. So that's how I'm going to do it going forward. And let's see, hopefully I'm not 80 some in the hole again. Anyway, so there you go. It's it's going to be 2024 when you see this, and I may already be buying books, who knows. And we'll see. We'll see what goes on with that. But it is still 2023 right now. So I wish you all a very happy new year. And I hope that you all had a very happy new year, because it will be 2024 when you see this. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Tell me, did you totally blow your book budget like I did this year? I don't know. Tell me whatever you'd like to tell me. And join my Discord, information down below, and we can chat about things. And that's also where the discussion for, that's the wrong way, that for the Winter's Tale will be, is in my Discord under the Bard Room. So, and my discussion for Les Misérables, there's a thread for that too. Anyway, I'm babbling now, so I'll let y'all go, and talk to you later. Thank you.